Guys, welcome back. So this is a live stream version of a VOD review, and this was taken during Teaching Tuesdays, which we do pretty much every week. And this was someone in the chat. This was Avengenator, whose name I got wrong like 4 times. So we're going to be looking at a Solitude King of the Hill game. We've got the stats up here right now. So we went 9 and 18, but we got 15 assists. So the high level of assists here is suggesting that we're either acting very supportingly passive and getting caught out, or we're going for pivs and we're losing them. Or it could be positioning. Accuracy is good, 57, highest, nearly the highest in the lobby. But the shots fired on the team was low. The damage itself was okay. So these are just some things that are sort of sticking out here. Occupation time though on the hill, 46 seconds. So we weren't slacking on the hill itself. So we're gonna go ahead and load up into this game here, and hopefully theatre doesn't decide to explode. Right, so we're hopping in here. So, I mean, off the rip, I'm going to get this thing set up because it's hard to pause. So off the rip, I don't really disagree with the start up here, but you got to be careful when you're pushing. So like what I tend to do at the start of a Solitude match is I will run and sort of push over to shock rifle, because standing here leaves you up to nades. You can throw some nades over into here to stop them from pushing. Like this guy is like super out, like he should be getting nuked by your team, but he hasn't. So look, they've gone for shock. You got a teammate here. Pushing this way would have been better. You're a little open here. I like the fight. I think the fight's good. Like, that guy gets wrecked. This guy's flanked around, though, because this guy went this way. So, you wouldn't know that, to be fair. But as you go around this corner, you want to be sort of looking this way with your crosshair. Because now, look, like you totally didn't see that guy. So, I think he's probably going to kill you both, right? Yeah. So, a little tip there, like when you're playing just anywhere, you always want to check like a SWAT team. So, like we've talked about like playing the corner and stuff in other videos, right? But like when you're playing angles like this, you always want to just check. And if you're on control, that can be tough sometimes, admittedly, if you're on a lower sense, but you'd need to check. That was the only thing that got you killed there. You would probably killed that guy if you'd have seen him. When you're fighting here, like this is good, and this guy's in sight, so just make sure you keep taking this fight in a place that's safe, because you're exposed to the left-hand side right now. And you did, actually. You stayed here. So this was good. Like, you should do that. So do more of that. You're, like, checking the sides here. But don't hang around, right? Because if you're hanging here, you've got, like, they've got 2 guys dead. You've got 2 guys dead. You need to either think about, am I going to play for the spawns, right? So am I going to get my team to spawn up on the hill? And is that an advantage? You don't know where they are, so they could spawn A, which is not great because that's higher than you. So I would probably move around to hotel here just to get closer spawns. Or you could try to take a little bit of hill time. Your teammate is with you there, but just staying here and kind of not pushing anything, you're sort of losing time. So maybe I would have pushed up to like dip or something here to get like a vantage point and block the spawns in blue so I don't get flanked. Yeah, because you're getting flanked now because they spawned in here, right? So you get killed. So again, it's like that forward thinking of sort of, oh, the enemy team, like the enemy team has been killed. And so therefore we need to think about where are they going to spawn and how can we make them spawn in a place that's really shitty for them. And also stops us from being flanked, especially on Solitude, where like spawning A can mean you can flank the entire cafe side of the map. Yeah, so you just spreading out and holding the dip there would have maybe stopped that. See here, so that's the exact point. So we spawned on C now, which is near the hill, because our teammates are near the hill, right? Because running to the hill from here is much better than running to it from tram, right? So hopefully you see what I mean by that there. And obviously anyone in the chat, if you want to ask or say anything, like Avengenator, if you want to add anything as well, you just say it and then we'll go over it. But I really feel like the point of spawns literally just got proven by spawning here because your teammates are here. Because this is a great position for the hill, right? I like how you're checking. You haven't checked over to your right, though. You've totally missed that. You should have heard that guy jump. You're kind of looking. No. So there, the sound thing, like, I heard that. So if you play with a headset off... Do you play with a headset on? Because I would definitely make sure you play with a headset on. Because you may have missed that because you don't. Or check your sound settings. So like, if you want to see my sound settings really fast... That's my sound settings right there. So you want to have the environment off, because the environment is just like birds and shit. Like, you don't need that. Hit detection and sound effects are what you want for like footsteps and shots. I don't have the in-game music on, obviously, when I'm streaming. That kind of stuff. Yeah, it makes sense. Things to 12 recognize for playing for spawns. Yeah, but playing for spawns is like something that's really advanced as well. So like, don't try, like, all these tips we're going over in this review. Don't try and do them all at the same time, right? Because if you try to, there'll be so many that you'll like do them all wrong. You want to focus on like one thing every couple of days and then just like switch between, and then naturally over time you will get better at it. I feel like there was a little bit of hesitation with your aim, but that's probably because you were getting shot in the ass and then we missed that dude. I'm trying to look at your aim as well, because like being able to win your 1v1s and things like that is super important. So far, we've died twice to just not seeing where enemies are, not hearing them, or not checking. So that's 2 deaths from that. You are sort of overshooting with the thumbstick a little here. I don't know if that's just because you're getting used to it or if the sensor's quite high. So I would, if this is something that happens a lot during this, I would either recommend scoping in more or looking at your sense maybe being a little too high. Now you're in a really shitty position because you pushed out of driveway and you have nowhere to go, and you've kind of noticed that. And you're crouched behind Prius or barricade, whatever you want to call it in this game. You're not in a good position here. You've almost like checkmate yourself a little. Oh, you noticed? You totally noticed that. I was going to say there's no way you're getting out of there. So it's just, so far it's just been positioning errors. Like, we've noticed that like you're sort of overshooting a little bit with the right stick, but generally speaking, in some of the duels you've been using left stick aim, which is good. Oh no. So I'm gonna have to redo the whole section here, sorry. So again, I don't know if this might just be a keyboard thing, but if I'm gonna jump and challenge something like that, I would have looked down the ramp as I did it. So, like, going up here is fine. Maybe you should have looked left as you ran through here. But also, as you go here, you want to just kind of jump on top of the barrier and, like, look down here as you do that and then turn that way. Plus, this guy's neared it anyway, so you want none of it. So that's... We're on 4 now. Monty Python moment. Yeah. Here, how many teammates we got up? 1. So here, I think playing your life and being super sneaky in this area of the map could be very useful. Because you don't have numbers. You probably don't have camo because you're all dead. You have a flank. And the hill is really, really far away from being scored. So I would potentially try to rat it out a little bit here and try to see if my teammates, like, just kind of wait. Like, obviously don't just sit there and wait to be killed, but, like, don't really announce your presence until you have to, and at a time that's really inconvenient for the enemy team. Oh. We almost got the timing right. We almost got the timing right. Oh, no, but then we jump in. So you just recharged while your shields weren't ready. Unfortunate. You can stand on this thing here. I like to stand on there as well. So we just recharged a little too early there. So obviously everything that's happening here is not your fault, but there's some slight timing issues, and there are it's just recharge a little early. Obviously it's a team game, so like this isn't your fault that it's like 2-0 right now. Like, that's a whole team as well. This is a really bad challenge. Because your team have died, the hill has moved, the hill is behind you, so you know they're going to run through you to get to it. So standing here, you know that you're at least going to run into one guy, and that's a best case scenario. You're going to run into 1. Realistically, you're probably going to run into 2, maybe 3. I like the fadeaway, though. So that was an example of getting away with shit you shouldn't get away with because of the lobby. But credit to you, you did kill the guy and you did get away. So credit where it's due. And then we just get wiped out there.
Shock rifle available.
Enemy team took the hill.
I like the hold here. This gives you space. Your teammate is up here on the tower though, just out of sight behind the camera. So you wanna be looking at if the enemies die, they could spawn in tram, which means you may get flanked. So you want to keep an eye out for after enemies have died, or prior to enemies dying for the first time. You just want to make sure that you don't get flanked. So we know that there's some enemies here, but we don't know how many. I think your teammate just got backsmacked. Yeah. So this is what I mean. It was very peculiar there that the enemy team only had one player who pushed the hill, which suggests that the other players are either... I mean, it's the rule, right? Like, if they're not in front of you, they're behind you, like the kind of pantomime thing. So, like, if they're not in front of you, they are probably flanking you. So you saw one... We knew that there was at least one player there, and after that fight ended, there was no more explosions. But you got away. Oh, that guy totally didn't check. It looks like there might have been some latency issues on this game. Yeah. That's fine. I like holding hotel here. This gives you a crossfire on the enemy team. You're not overcommitted. Like, this is a good move. You could just chill, right? You could just chill. So it's really important here that you don't die for this. You being here... Saw the backsmack and the kill feeds turned around. Yeah. We don't have the kill feed because of theater, which obviously is an issue. But yes, I feel like you did turn around because of that backsmack, which was good. So yeah, you staying alive here is really good because it puts a lot of pressure on the enemy hill. And they just have to be aware of you, which gives your teammates a chance to attack from the other direction. I would definitely play hotel. He's going, so you kind of have to go. And I would go back the other way, not the same way. Which is exactly what you do, which is good. So the idea of supporting teammates is to support them from another direction. Sometimes you can like slide through and body block for them, but you always want to slide through. You always want to like try and challenge from multiple directions because enemies can't look in multiple directions at the same time, right? But you can all look in the same direction at the same time. That's good. I like that you're pinging as well. If you're gonna hold this hill, like hold here. Holding here gives you nothing that's not any different from holding here, because all you get here is you get shot one more time by the guy here, you maybe get naded one more time by the guy here. You could just stand here and look, and it gives you the same result, right? It's a really small thing, but it makes a difference. Especially if the ping's bad. That's fine. Assists are fine. You're looking around here, so you want to... So there's two ways you can do this, right? You can either... You want to isolate the angles, right? And I feel like you're sort of... You're looking around like you don't know where the enemies are going to come from. So you want to watch window and stand here. Or, because none of your team are on C, you want to watch dip and stand where you're stood and not look both ways. You can only look so many ways at once, and ultimately it's the responsibility of your team to try and look the other ways you can't look. Some people in Onyx may disagree with that, but like you can only you can only do your 25%, right? Technically should have moved forward there because the nade was always going to bounce behind you. This is good though. Living up, getting the hill, well played, that's good. Getting the repulse is good. So I want to talk about this for a moment. So one of the really common mistakes that I see on Solitude, especially on this hill, is people literally just camp the shit out of like mid. And that can screw you over really badly if you don't have the sniper, because it causes your team to spawn in hotel if you die, which means you have to haul ass all the way back to hill, which is bad. So usually what teams do is they'll hold like a ledge, tram, drive, and maybe like they'll have someone flanking like down here somewhere or down here. Holding here means your team will spawn here. I'm not saying you've caused this right now because obviously you're moving there, but just to bear that in mind. If you're playing for spawns, you want to be in here. That's the best spawn for this area. I like the repulse. That's cool. Helping a teammate. Well played. All good. Collapse here is really good. Admittedly, that guy should have died a lot faster, but there's 4 people on a team. Going up to the vantage point. Good. You want to hold this. Don't give it away. That's fine. That guy can't push now because he's one shot. I'm just overcommitting slightly. So when you're playing objective game types like this, obviously killing the enemies is important, but also if the enemy's one shot, they can't push. So every time you get someone to one shot, it's like free time, right? You just stayed a little out there a little too long there and got killed. It happens. I'm not really noticing a lack of losing 1v1s. Yeah, we're not really losing 1v1s yet. It's good that you use ADS, but I may not have hard scoped for that long there. There was a guy on the corner of your screen. I don't know what FOV you're playing on, but you missed that. I would stay low here. Yeah, they're coming for you now. So when you're weak like this, you can respond if teammates start shooting, but you want to lay low. Because now, like, you're out the game because you're tagged. And then you got tagged again. So that's like 8 seconds now. And then you're probably going to die. So that's 18 seconds, then you got to run back. So this is like 20 seconds of the game where you just can't do anything. Which is not good. And it's forcing you to stay over here. So now your teammates are going to also spawn over here. Which is far away from the hill. Not directly your fault, but a result of the choices that you made based on what had happened. Does that make sense?
Shock rifle inbound. Active ammo inbound.
Yeah. I feel like in that instance, go into training and put the bots on ODST and just practice deathless against strafing bots. Or play Octagon with friends, I suppose. I think that's the second time we've seen you windmill a little bit on a moving target. Like, you're fine if the target's not shooting you, but I feel like if you're in a duel, that's like the second time we've seen that happen. So yeah, go and fight against ODST bots or something. You have done some good stuff though. Like, I'm not sitting here like tearing you apart. Like, there have been good. You have done, like, I'm saying, I'll do this and you do it. Challenge with your teammate here is good. This is fine. Halo Infinite bullshittery there. That was literally, you literally did nothing wrong. That was just Halo Infinite being Halo Infinite. So, yeah. GG. Life goes on. Okay, again, we're down here. We're causing trouble. So, I'm thinking here, can you time a push from left with your team? Because they're alive. What do you do? Standing here, you didn't look up here. So in a Onyx or Diamond lobby there, you would have just died. Because someone would have been looking this way, probably, and shot you as you clambered. Which means you would have had to go down and then someone would have cleaned you up. So I would have either gone left with the team. Or you can jump up here, but just look towards the hill when you jump up, right? Like, you don't really need... You don't have to be specifically looking at a ledge to clamber it. You can clamber it as long as you are kind of looking at it in a certain way. So you could have jumped up and clambered that and looked. Again, a small thing, but a small thing that makes a difference. Yeah, the nade sucked. Totally not your fault. I think going to S4 is interesting, though. Like, this is a good angle. Oh, no. We missed the guy with shock. And then we overchalled because none of the enemy team were dead. I was going to say, if you got away with that, that'd be insane. So, that sequence was just like an overcommittance to the hill. Like, you could have easily been an S4 and just been really annoying. And you missed the guy with shock. So it was like a timing / overchal. You could have stayed S4 and just done damage, and then they would have had to look at you and look at your team and all that. Or you could have just dropped back down and flanked them again. But jumping out like that, big no-no. Don't do that. Unless you have a distinct advantage, and you know you do. I have no idea how your team ended up with the hill there. That's insane.
Enemy team took the hill. Enemy about to score.
Yeah, we need to haul ass. I'm also noticing just now, I don't think we've seen you do like a curb slide or anything like once. So it's just, that just means you can get around the map faster. And it doesn't really do anything negative adding it in, right? You got assisted there. Again, that was a 1v1. Maybe you shouldn't have lost because your teammate was there as well. This position's okay. We got a crossfire on the map. We're stopping A from being annoying. Yeah, I've got a little bit of a strafe on you, a little bit of a crouch. It's a little binary, like left, right, but like it's there. So just keep practicing. Yeah, I've got the start of like a strafe being built into that. But unfortunately, they just get the hill, like you got taken out, they push around, etc.
Hill ready. Enemy
You gotta check it, dude. This is like to be continued, like the meme, where it's like, what happens next? Oh no! No, we didn't check it. How many times is that now? Like 6? I mean, you get traded, but again, trades, you don't want to trade. You want an assist where you don't die. That's the best case scenario. You spawning C tells you that their team is primarily around LR / this side of the map. So you want to be like, when you go around this corner, I hope that you look this way. Or maybe you try to play for camo, because I think like 3 of the enemy team are dead right now. Oh no, they're not. It was literally one guy. But you got him. You got the camo. That's good. Okay, now we dip. Are you not dead? There's a player unaccounted for, and we're bunny hopping while one shot. Yeah, and then we overcommitted. So there, that segment, you just gave up your height advantage, right? So like, you just want to make sure that when you have the height advantage, you keep the height advantage. Because even though you're down on score, if you're alive and you're shooting the enemy, they can't score. And you had the advantage there. So it was just overcommitting. So that was like when you jumped off S4, right? I'm doing the right post to check it corners. Dude, like, you could, like, watching the stream with me today, there will have been instances where I haven't checked a corner. And there would have been someone there. So, like, honestly, when I say this stuff, it's like, I'm sure you don't do it all the time. But it's just a habit that you seem to have. And it is getting you killed. So I feel like this is more you're not on the map to have impact. Because when you're on the map, you do have some impact. But you just, when you're dead, you're not on the map, right? I maybe would have not taken that shot because now he knows you're behind him. Or because it's low plat, he has no idea. Okay.
hill control.
This holds fine. You're in an area where you can escape if needed. Yeah, they're... you were holding the hill. You got to get points somehow, right? Maybe double check when they're all respawning, like, should I be here? Where are they? Where are they going to spawn? Maybe. And remember, the game will always spawn them the furthest corner away from your team if it can. If it can. If your teammates aren't in combat, it'll spawn you on your teammates. Oh my god. A lot of nades. No! No! No, not again. Crosshair placement there. So you just want, when you go around the corner, just make sure you're kind of looking around the corner.
Enemy team took the hill.
You probably would have traded that if you were.
Enemy team nearing victory.
This is fine. Hold here. Hold here. Don't stand. Do not stand down here. Do not do it. Don't do it. No, don't do it! No! Go silo. Silo's better because you can jump on it. Because now we're sort of in like the mosh pit and we don't really know what to do. I totally understand the sense of urgency, dude. Like, I totally understand it and it is warranted, but have a sense of urgency from a safe location so this doesn't happen. Ooh, we're challenging. I think that's game right. Yeah. Yeah. So I hope that was informative. Obviously, we didn't have like the usual tools that we have when we do a VOD review with this, but you know, on the stream we do on Teach Tuesdays we do these VOD reviews, and you can have one as well if you're in the stream and you say in the chat that you want one. This was Vengenator who was in the chat at the time, and then we do the VOD review. So main takeaways from this one, if you're in Platinum playing King of the Hill, firstly, you got to check those corners. You got to make sure that you're checking before you're pushing. Arguably harder to do on control than keyboard, but you still have to do it. Second of all, when you are going to push corners, you got to make sure your crosshair's in the right place. You don't want to be running around a corner not looking at it as you do it. Pieing the corner is something we've discussed on the channel before. It's something they do in real life with like police and SWAT. So search pieing the corner with weapons if you want to look online and they'll explain how you do that. Or you can look at other videos as well. But it's essentially you just cut the corner as you go around. So you like turn and look at the corner as you go around, starting from the outside and then going to the inside. Try to think where your enemies are going to spawn, and therefore that shows you where the safe locations on the map are going to be, because they will always spawn far away from you if possible. And then finally, just your strafe's there. You started doing it. There were some crouches in it. It just needs a little more work. So before you go into ranked, every time, just go in the academy for a bit. Turn on Deathless if you want. Practice strafe shooting the bots. Yeah, practice strafe shooting the bots. Practice like doing weird strafes that you don't normally do, like trying to break the routine. Because when you get to like high diamond or onyx, like if that's what you're aiming for, players will learn your strafe in a game. They will notice how you strafe after fighting you 2 or 3 times, and they will adapt. And that's what happens in the game. So like I try not to strafe the same all the time. I do have a main strafe that I use, but I try to mix it up. Yeah, but that's something in the long run. So don't try and practice all those things at once. Pick some one day and just focus on that thing, and then alternate as you go. If you try and do these all at once, I promise you, you will get shit on. You will be trying to do too much shit at once and it will not work. But yeah. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So obviously it's going to get uploaded to YouTube. Remember, Teaching Tuesdays, get your own video done in the stream. But for now, that's it for this video. So peace out. It's been Vanadam, and I'll see you soon.